11 didn't open the gate. She was built to do just that. From the very beginning, Stranger Things framed 11 as the accidental spark that ignited the chaos in Hawkins, a frightened child pushed too far, unleashing a monster she didn't mean to. But the deeper fans look, the more that origin story begins to crack. What if that iconic moment in Season 1 wasn't an accident, but a design? What if 11 wasn't the one who opened the gate, but the one who was engineered too? Across the series, Brenner's flashbacks tell a different story than the one we first believed. His experiments aren't random. His tests aren't exploratory. They look like drills, repeated, escalating, precise, all meant to condition 11 to reach one exact emotional and psychic threshold. Not to communicate, not to spy, but to tear holes in reality on command. Season 4 pushes the theory further. In the Nina flashbacks, the lab environment is structured like a training arena, built to groom a weapon, not a child. And Vecna's revelation, "You didn't create the monster, you released me," reframes everything. Vecna isn't blaming 11, he's confirming her role. She is the key, the trigger, the device. This theory argues that 11 wasn't just part of Hawkins' lab's plan, she was the plan. Created for one purpose: open doors humans were never meant to touch. Will Byers isn't just marked, he's becoming the other half of Vecna. From Season 1, Will Byers was the boy who slipped through the cracks, the quiet kid, the outsider, the one who vanished without leaving a footprint. But as the show evolved, so did the fan theories, and now one idea stands above the rest, growing louder every season. Will Byers isn't just connected to the Upside Down, he's becoming the second half of Vecna. Think about it. Every time Will interacts with the other side, something new awakens in him. In Season 2, he's not just possessed, he's synchronized. The Mind Flayer doesn't merely control him, it uses him like an antenna. In Season 4, when Vecna rises as the true puppeteer, Will is the only character who instantly senses him. The hairs on the back of his neck go up. His breathing changes. Something inside him recognizes the monster, not with fear but with familiarity. But the chilling part? The Upside Down is frozen on the day Will disappeared, the exact day he entered it. Fans argue this isn't a coincidence but a tether, a lock, a perfect imprint of his presence. And now, Season 5 promo hints and interviews suggest that Will's role is bigger than anyone realizes. Not as a victim, not as bait, but as a counterpart. Vecna is the mind, and Will might be the heart. The half that never left his world or his body. The Upside Down isn't another world. It's a time bomb frozen on purpose. Of all the Stranger Things theories, this is the one that flips the entire mythology on its head, literally. The idea that the Upside Down isn't just an alternate dimension, but a frozen moment in time created as a cage, a prison. A clock that someone or something stopped on purpose. Fans first noticed it back in Season 4, the Upside Down is permanently stuck on November 6th, 1983, the exact day Will vanished. His house, his room, his tapes, his lights, everything is paused mid-existence, like a photograph trapped in static. At first, people assumed this was just a production detail, but then more clues surfaced. The Demogorgon acts like a hunter, but the vines behave like a network, growing, spreading, listening. Vecna can manipulate the dimension, but he can't move time forward. Even the upside-down sky, that swirling red storm, never changes. Which leads to the theory's terrifying conclusion: the Upside Down didn't freeze because it couldn't evolve. It froze because someone locked it. Fans believe that the moment Will cross dimensions, frightened, weak, and unprepared, the Upside Down imprinted on him and sealed itself. A failsafe to keep something inside, or keep him connected, or keep Vecna from unleashing the full force of whatever the Upside Down truly is when time begins again. And Season 5's marketing? All things begin and end. That's not a slogan. That's a countdown. 11 didn't create the monsters. She accidentally unleashed a prison full of them. For years, fans believed the same thing. 11 opened the gate. 11 caused the monsters. 11 created the chaos. But the deeper you look, the more one theory rises above the rest. A theory that reframes 11 not as the catalyst of horror, but as the accidental liberator of something that was already imprisoned. Let's go back to the infamous moment in Season 1. 11 reaches out through the void, touches the Demogorgon, and the world splits open like a wound. At first glance, it looks like she tore reality with her powers. But Season 4 reveals the truth. The Upside Down was already occupied, already evolving, already violent, long before 11 was even born. When she banishes Henry Creel into that dimension, something extraordinary happens, the vines awaken, the atmosphere shifts, and Henry transforms into Vecna as if the world had been waiting for a master or a prisoner. This suggests the Upside Down was not created in that moment, it was activated. 11 didn't open a door. She unlatched a lock. And once the gate formed, the creatures didn't escape randomly. They followed Vecna's pull, as if he were the warden or the inmate the prison had been storing. Season 5's tagline, "It all started before 11, hints that Hawkins' lab never understood what they were poking at. They weren't researching powers, they were digging too close to a cage holding something ancient. And 11 accidentally broke the seal. Hawkins' lab didn't create the powered kids, they were trying to copy something already in the world. For 4 seasons, the story has been simple. Dr. Brenner found gifted children and experimented on them, turning their minds into weapons. But a deeper, more unsettling theory suggests the exact opposite. The children weren't created by Hawkins' lab. They were discovered. From the beginning, Brenner acts less like a scientist shaping children and more like a man desperately trying to replicate something he doesn't fully understand. His obsession isn't with the kids, it's with whatever force gave Henry Creel his abilities. Season 4 reveals that Henry's powers existed naturally. He wasn't injected. He wasn't altered. He wasn't designed. He was born with gifts that no human should have. That's why the lab began collecting children with telepathy, telekinesis, empathy, astral projection, not to enhance them, but to imitate Henry's connection to the dark dimension. But here's the twist fans are obsessed with. What if Henry wasn't the first? What if Henry was a mutation caused by contact with the Upside Down long before anyone knew it existed? This would explain Brenner's frantic behavior, his secrecy, and his need to number the children. He wasn't building an army, he was mapping a pattern, a phenomenon, a cosmic anomaly expressed in human DNA. If this theory is true, 11 isn't the strongest because she was engineered. She's the strongest because she's the closest genetic match to whatever Vecna became. Not a lab weapon, a natural-born key. Max Mayfield isn't just in a coma, she's trapped in Vecna's mind as his final battery. Max's death, and not death, was one of the most disturbing moments in all of Stranger Things. Her bones break, her heart stops, her eyes go white, and then 11 refuses to let her die. But Season 4 ends with something far more ominous. Max's body is alive. Max's mind is gone. And Vecna is nowhere to be found. This is where the most unsettling fan theory begins. Max isn't just unconscious, she's inside Vecna, held like a psychic hostage. Let's look at the clues. When 11 enters Max's mind in the hospital, there is nothing. No memories, no imagery, no sound, not even blackness, just pure empty void. Fans argue this isn't absence, it's imprisonment. Vecna feeds on trauma, on memories, on the emotional architecture of a person's inner world. Max, with her grief, guilt, and spiraling depression, was his most powerful battery. Her mind was a feast. So when 11 revived her heart, she likely revived only the body, not the soul trapped in Vecna's psychic realm. And here's the terrifying part. Vecna's physical body is broken, but he isn't. To survive, he would need a host, a mind to hide inside. Max's mind, wide open from trauma and resurrection, may have been the perfect place. That means Season 5 won't just be a rescue mission. It will be a mental heist into the darkest corner of the Upside Down. To bring Max back, they may have to pull her out of Vecna himself. The Upside Down froze in time because someone made it that way. One of the strangest details in Stranger Things has never been explained. Why is the Upside Down permanently stuck on November 6, 1983, the day Will Byers disappeared? Not around that time. Not the season. The exact day, the exact hour, the exact minute. Dust settles, clocks don't move, lights freeze mid-flicker. It's not a snapshot, it's a lock. Fans believe this wasn't an accident, someone froze it. Either Will, or Vecna, or 11. Here's the theory that actually fits the puzzle. The Upside Down didn't copy Hawkins, it copied Will's mind. Will was the first human to truly connect to the dimension. He didn't just get pulled into it, his presence imprinted Hawkins onto a raw, formless world. His memories, his routines, his fears, all became the blueprint. It explains everything. Why Castle Byers appears in the Upside Down even though no one built it there. Why the Upside Down version of Hawkins contains Will's exact chair, his posters, his radio. Why the dimension is frozen at the moment Will entered because time stopped for him. But here's where it gets darker. Season 4 revealed Vecna was already in the Upside Down before Will arrived, meaning Vecna didn't shape it, but the moment Will entered, the world reshaped around him. This implies the Upside Down responds to human consciousness, especially vulnerable minds. And if Will shaped it once, he may be able to shape it again. In Season 5, his mind might be the key to resetting or destroying the entire dimension. Mike Wheeler is the key the Upside Down has been waiting for. Out of all the Stranger Things characters, Mike Wheeler seems the least supernatural, and that's exactly why fans think the Upside Down wants him. Here's the theory. Mike isn't powerful because of abilities. He's powerful because of influence. Every time the Upside Down moves, evolves, or attacks, Mike is at the emotional center of the person it needs to break. Look at the pattern. 1. Eleven's powers respond strongest to Mike. She lifts a van off the ground because Mike is in danger. She defeats the Demogorgon after he's threatened. Her emotional spikes create surges that the Upside Down feeds on. Mike isn't a bystander, he's her anchor. 2. Will's connection is deepest when Mike is present. Will hears Mike's voice through dimensions. Mike is the only one Will responds to in Season 2 when possessed. When Will draws the tunnels, Mike is the one who decodes the message. Vecna doesn't need Mike dead. He needs Mike broken. 3. Vecna's weakness is belief and Mike controls it. Eleven's power rises and falls with emotional certainty. In Season 4, she regains her strength only after Mike says, "I love you." That moment isn't romance, it's activation. Mike is the emotional trigger that powers the two people most connected to the Upside Down, Eleven and Will. The theory states Season 5's final battle won't be about defeating Vecna with force, it'll be about protecting Mike from becoming the weapon Vecna uses against them. The creepiest theory. The Upside Down is frozen on the exact day Will vanished for a reason. Here's a theory that sounds simple at first, until you realize it might be the entire key to Season 5. We all know the Upside Down is stuck on November 6, 1983, the day Will Byers disappeared. But what fans finally pieced together is why that specific day is locked in time. And the answer is way darker than the world just froze. 1. The Upside Down didn't freeze, it saved that day. Vecna didn't accidentally trap Hawkins in a time loop. The theory claims he archived the exact moment Will entered the dimension like a snapshot, a preserved memory, a perfect replica. Why? Because the Upside Down isn't mimicking reality, it's studying it. 2. The dimension is a learning machine. When Nancy explores the Wheeler house in the Upside Down, every drawer, photo, and item is perfectly copied, creepily perfect. This has led fans to believe the Upside Down is not just a place, it's a recording designed by Vecna to understand Hawkins, its people, and their weaknesses. 3. Will is the reason the snapshot exists. The moment Will enters the Upside Down, everything aligns. Will becomes the chosen host. Vecna senses him immediately. The dimension locks the world in place. Because Will isn't just a victim, he's the template Vecna wants to replicate, manipulate, or use. Some fans even think the Upside Down is Will's memory, corrupted and weaponized by Vecna. Whatever the truth is, one thing seems guaranteed. Season 5 will return to November 6, 1983, because that moment holds the secret to ending Vecna or releasing something even worse. The final theory. Vecna didn't just create the Upside Down, he became it. For years, fans believed the Upside Down was an alternate dimension, a dark mirror of our world that Vecna discovered, corrupted, and weaponized. But a new theory flips the entire lore on its head. The Upside Down isn't just Vecna's domain. It is Vecna, not metaphorically, literally. First, the transformation wasn't survival. It was rebirth. When Henry Creel is blasted into the unknown by Eleven in 1979, he doesn't just fall through a portal. He disintegrates. His body burns away. His consciousness scatters like dust across a void. What fans noticed is this. The particles swirling around Vecna in that scene, they are identical to the spores and motes floating everywhere in the Upside Down, meaning Henry didn't just enter the dimension, he dissolved into it. Secondly, the Mind Flayer isn't Vecna's creation, it's Vecna's shape. In Season 4, Vecna tells Eleven he found the Mind Flayer. But when the particles swirl and form the spider shape Henry imagines, it suggests something deeper. The particles responded to his mind, his memories, his fears, his shape. The dimension didn't give Vecna power. Vecna became the power. Thirdly, that explains everything. Why the Upside Down mirrors Henry's obsessions, why it freezes the world on Will's disappearance, Henry's target. Why the vines act like nerves, why Vecna knows where everyone is, why the entire world feels alive. The Upside Down isn't a place. It's a body, a giant parasitic mindscape wearing Hawkins like a skin. Which means there's only one way to destroy Vecna. They'll have to kill the entire dimension. In Stranger Things, nothing is accidental. Every clue, every shadow, every connection is a warning. And with Season 5 finally arriving, the truth isn't just coming, it's already here. If you want more deep dive breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button. Things are only getting darker from here.